747-400 aircraft review. Let's start our review with normal arrival and departure procedures. Standard operating procedure requires that the first step in any door operation is to verify the status of your door. The CSD will instruct the flight attendants to disarm when the fasten seatbelt sign has been extinguished. To disarm, raise the arming lever cover and move the arming lever up to the disarmed position. Remove the pin and streamer from its stowage and push the pin firmly into the hole in the arming lever, allowing the streamer to hang in clear view. Lower the arming lever cover. Verify the door is disarmed by checking the yellow ball on the arming lever is visible in the disarmed slide mode window, and the pin is installed with the streamer visible. To disarm the upper deck doors, lower the arming lever cover. Move the arming lever down to the disarmed position. Raise the arming lever cover. Verify the door is disarmed by checking the yellow ball on the arming lever is visible in the disarmed slide mode window. Whether it is a main deck or upper deck door, always remember to walk to the opposite door and verify it is disarmed. Confirm to the CSD that your door is disarmed and cross-checked. After verifying your door is disarmed, assess outside conditions to ensure it is safe to continue. Then rotate the door handle to the open position. The door will move into the cabin. Use the door handle and the door assist handles to rotate the door out and forward against the fuselage. Ensure the gust lock is engaged. The captain will give permission to close the doors. Use one hand to release the gust lock by pulling it up. Hold it there. Use the door assist handle to start door movement. Release the gust lock. Use the door assist handles to pull the door fully aft and inward. Rotate the door handle to the closed position to close and lock the door. When the bridge starts to retract, the CSD will instruct flight attendants to arm the doors. Raise the arming lever cover and depress the pinhead to remove the pin and streamer from the arming lever. Stow the pin and streamer in the pouch below the arming lever inside the door. Then arm the door by moving the arming lever down to the armed position. Lower the arming lever cover. Verify the door is armed by checking the yellow ball on the arming lever is visible in the armed slide mode window. To arm the upper deck doors, lower the arming lever cover. Move the arming lever up to the armed position. Raise the arming lever cover. Verify the door is armed by checking the yellow ball is visible in the armed slide mode window. For both upper and main deck doors, complete the whole procedure. Walk to the opposite door and verify it is armed. Confirm to the CSD that your door is armed and cross-checked. Now let's look at the location of emergency and safety equipment. We'll begin on the flight deck. Here you'll find protective gloves and a smoke hood. There is a halon extinguisher and a fire crash axe. There is also a search mirror and a restraint kit. On the upper deck at 50AB in the sidewall stowage unit, there are 5 infant life vests. Mounted on each side of the jump seat at 6L, there is a water extinguisher and a halon extinguisher. A first aid kit is in the compartment adjacent to the jump seat at the top of the stairs. At 6R, in a floor compartment, there are 2 portable oxygen bottles. There is a halon extinguisher and a smoke hood on the bulkhead behind the last row of seats, right side. On the main deck, at 1L on the jump seat doghouse, there is a halon extinguisher and a smoke hood. there are 2 portable oxygen bottles in the doghouse. In the pull-down bin at 1L, there is a first aid kit, a radio beacon, and a megaphone. Forward of door 2L, there is a smoke hood mounted on the doghouse. In the doghouse, there is a halon extinguisher and a portable oxygen bottle. In the pull-down bin above 2L, there is a physician's kit, an emergency medical kit, and 2 portable oxygen bottle restraint pouches. At 3L, there are 2 portable oxygen bottles stowed in the compartment between the jump seat and the door. A halon extinguisher and a smoke hood are mounted on the doghouse. At 4L, there is a halon extinguisher and smoke hood mounted on the doghouse. There are also 2 portable oxygen bottles in the floor compartment. In the pull-down bin above 4L, there are 10 infant life vests, a megaphone, and a first aid kit. At 5L, there is a halon extinguisher next to the jump seat. In the closet, there is a smoke hood. Below the closet, there are 2 portable oxygen bottles. At 1R, on the doghouse at the jump seat, there is a water extinguisher, and inside, 2 portable oxygen bottles. In the pull-down bin above 1R, you will find a first aid kit and 10 infant life vests. Forward of 2R, in the doghouse, there is a water extinguisher and a portable oxygen bottle. At 3R and 4R, there is a water extinguisher mounted on each jump seat. 2 portable oxygen bottles are located in each floor compartment. In the pull-down bin above 4R, there is a first aid kit and radio beacon. At 5R, adjacent to the jump seat, there is a water extinguisher. In a cupboard behind the jump seat, there are 2 portable oxygen bottles. In the stairwell of the crew rest area, there is a flashlight and a smoke hood on the left, and a halon and water extinguisher on the right. There is a flashlight and life vest at each jump seat. Now let's look at the oxygen systems on the Boeing 747-400. The flight deck masks are enclosed in a compartment at each seat. To operate, squeeze the red levers to remove the masks. Place the harness over your head with the mask covering your nose and mouth. Release the red levers to allow the oxygen to flow. The captain and first officer's masks incorporate smoke goggles. The passenger cabin of the Boeing 747 is equipped with a continuous flow oxygen system. Pulling each individual mask releases a pin, which starts the flow of oxygen to that mask. Oxygen flow will vary depending on the aircraft altitude, but oxygen flow is confirmed when the indicator bar on the breather bag inflates. Oxygen flow can be turned off at an individual mask by flipping up on the coinciding valve. The entire system can be shut off by using the reset switch on the flight deck. If an oxygen compartment fails to open, it can be opened by inserting a pin or sharp object into the hole in the compartment door. For flight attendants to contact the flight deck in an emergency, press P twice on the handset. Indications on the flight deck of this call are a warning horn and a blue call light which illuminates. Direct access gives PA priority over all cabin announcements. Direct access switches are above the handsets at 1L, 2L, and 4L. To make a direct access announcement, remove the handset and press the direct access switch. Press and hold the push-to-talk bar. There is an evacuation signal system panel on the flight deck and at each cabin door. Any one of these panels may be used to initiate an evacuation. To initiate an evacuation from any of the cabin panels, lift the plastic guard and push the command button. Upon hearing the signal, silence the horn and conduct the evacuation. To open a main deck door with slide inflation, assess outside conditions and verify your door is armed. Rotate the door handle to the open position. As the door handle moves past the 12 o'clock position, additional force may be required. Once door movement is started, let go of the door handle. The door's pneumatic power assist should completely open the door. Slide inflation is complete in approximately 9 seconds. If the slide fails to inflate, hold on and pull the manual inflation handle. At doors 3, verify the ramp slide has inflated by looking aft outside the aircraft for the striped inflated pole. To open a main deck door without slide inflation, assess outside conditions. Disarm the door and rotate the door handle to the open position. Use the door assist handles to rotate the door out and forward. To open the upper deck doors, assess outside conditions through a cabin window. Verify the door is armed. Rotate the door handle up to the open position. Let go of the door handle and stand clear of the door travel path. Slide inflation is complete in approximately 9 seconds. If the slide fails to inflate, hold on and lift the flap covering the manual inflation handle. Pull the manual inflation handle. Although highly unlikely, it may be necessary to evacuate through the flight deck. The flight deck hatch is located in the ceiling. To open, remove the cover. Then rotate the handle to the unlocked position. Grasp an escape reel and climb out the window. Once these reels are extended, they cannot be reused. All exits may be used in a land evacuation. If the main gear collapses, doors 3 are disarmed and blocked, and passengers directed to other door exits. As a last resort, these doors may be opened without slide inflation. Flight attendants would then direct the passengers to slide down the wing to the ground. The responsibilities of the captain and first officer include completing the abnormal and emergency checklist, giving the evacuation signal, assisting with the evacuation as required, and evacuating through the flight deck windows if necessary. Position 1L sits at the outboard jump seat at 1L. 1L will assess and open 1L and conduct an evacuation. 1L will evacuate themselves after removing the forward first aid kit, radio beacon, and megaphone. Position 2L, the CSD, sits at the jump seat at 2L. If necessary, 2L will activate the emergency light switch, which illuminates the emergency lighting system. 2L will assess and open 2L and conduct an evacuation, and remove the emergency medical kit. Position 3L sits at the jump seat at 3L and will assess and open 3L and conduct an evacuation. Position 3LA sits at the inboard jump seat and will assist as required in an evacuation. Position 4L sits at the outboard jump seat at 4L, assesses and opens 4L, and conducts an evacuation. 4L will evacuate themselves after removing the aft megaphone and first aid kit. Position 5L sits at the jump seat at 5L. 5L will assess and open door 5L and conduct an evacuation. Position 1R sits at the outboard jump seat at 1R. 1R assesses and opens door 1R and conducts an evacuation. 1R will evacuate themselves after removing the forward first aid kit. Position 2R sits at the jump seat at 2R. 2R will assess and open door 2R and conduct an evacuation. Position 3R sits at the outboard jump seat at 3R. 3R will assess and open door 3R and conduct an evacuation. Position 4R sits at the outboard jump seat at 4R. 4R will assess and open door 4R and conduct an evacuation. 4R will evacuate themselves after removing the aft radio beacon and first aid kit. Position 5R sits at the jump seat at 5R. 5R assesses and opens door 5R and conducts an evacuation. On the upper deck, position 6L sits at the outboard jump seat at 6L. 6L will assess and open 6L and will conduct an evacuation. 6L will evacuate themselves after removing the first aid kit. Position 6R sits at the inboard jump seat at 6L. 6R assesses and opens 6R and conducts an evacuation. 6R will check the condition of the flight deck crew. Remember, it is the responsibility of each crew member to remove their flashlight when necessary and do a thorough cabin check before evacuating. On the Boeing 747, doors 1, 2, 4, and 5 become the preferred exits, as they are equipped with slide rafts. All crew members and passengers will don a life vest. If the water evacuation occurs immediately after takeoff, doors 5 may be at or below the water level. If this occurs, flight attendants will block these doors. Doors 3 are disarmed and blocked during a water evacuation. As a last resort, these doors can be opened without slide inflation. Instruct an ABP to attach the escape tapes to the hooks on the wing. Flight attendants will have to direct passengers to inflate their life vests and jump into the water from the leading edge of the wing to swim to the nearest raft. Doors 6 are blocked, and passengers are directed to main deck doors. Door 6 may be opened as a last resort. Flight attendants must direct passengers to inflate their life vests, sit and slide into the water, and swim to the nearest raft. Once the water evacuation is complete, crew members will inflate their own life vests and board a slide raft. To detach the slide raft from the aircraft, pull the door strap handle. Then, lift the flap on the girt apron and brace yourself by holding onto the slide raft. While kneeling well back from the door sill, pull the quick release handle. As the slide raft detaches from the girt bar, it will drop to the water level. It is still tethered to the aircraft by a mooring line. Disconnect the mooring line by pulling the mooring release handle located on the girt bar end or by cutting it with a knife. Now that the slide raft is detached, retrieve the canopy pouch from the water. The pouch is located halfway down the length of the raft. Its location is clearly placarded. Remove the canopy from the pouch and unfold it. Match the numbers at the canopy tie-downs to the corresponding numbers on the support tubes. Fasten the canopy tie-downs to the buttons by twisting the ties around the rubber buttons.
This training segment, utilizing a dramatic reenactment of an emergency ditching, was originally produced by British Airways. It is intended to show correct procedures for launching and inflating a slide raft, boarding of passengers, and erection of the canopy. Some flight attendant emergency procedures you will see are not those recommended by Canadian. These discrepancies in procedures will be addressed throughout the program.
Evacuate, evacuate.
Avoid yelling commands to passengers until your exit is open, usable, and you are in a protected position. Use the positive command, release your seatbelts. When the order to evacuate is given, cabin crew must first check that there are no hazards outside the door and that the water is below the level of the door sill. If all is clear, the door must be opened quickly. Pull the manual inflation handle located on the girt bar immediately after opening the door. Once the raft is fully inflated, passengers must be quickly evacuated from the aircraft. To avoid confusion when directing passengers, use the command, release your seatbelts, leave everything behind, get out. Cabin crew must keep control, encouraging passengers with positive instructions to ensure a rapid and continuous flow. To avoid being pulled out of the aircraft, do not use your hands to assist evacuating passengers. The slide raft is equipped with a safety strap which should be attached once fully separated from the aircraft. This strap is designed to stop others from falling out of the raft. Passengers should be instructed to sit on either side of the raft with their backs to the upper chamber so that the raft is loaded evenly and to capacity. Any extra passengers should sit back to back in the center. Crew members should check that the aircraft is clear before boarding the rafts themselves. The raft is released by first pulling the door strap handle and then lifting the flap on the girt apron and pulling the quick release handle. The crew members are now responsible for the survivors in their rafts. They should involve them and keep control. Give clear and concise instructions. Some passengers may fall in the water. The raft is fitted with lifelines, steps, and handles to help them board. A rescue line and ring are also provided. A canopy is supplied in a bag attached to the raft.
Follow the arrows over the side, pull on the line, pull in the canopy case.
The canopy is rigged over the support tubes to offer protection.
Red canopy out. Okay, pass it up here as quickly as possible.
The support tubes and the canopy are numbered to make lining up easier. You simply match up the numbers.
Right, you find numbers. On top of the post there are numbers. Start with number 1 and 2. Match up the numbers.
The canopy has short tapes, which fix to small rubber buttons at the top of the support tubes.
And then next posts 3 and 4. Do the same with those. Tie the tape around the black box on the outside.
Crew members should direct operations from the girt end of the raft.
Now tie number 8. Match up the numbers. Number 8. Tie the tape around. Number 9. Number 9.
The canopy may be difficult to handle, especially in a wind, so it should be unfurled a little at a time to keep it under control.
Number 10. Tie the tapes around the buttons.
Even in poor weather, it's important to have some ventilation.
Undo the tapes on the side here. You do that one, I'll do this one here. And if you can carry on continue down there, just these tapes on the side here. Roll up the canopy. Bring in the tape from the outside and tie it round on the inboard face. And can you continue further on down there?
Having secured the raft, crew members can turn their attention to the needs of the survivors.
Is there anybody here with medical experience?
This completes the visual Boeing 747-400 aircraft review.